Yeah, perfect. So, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. We are here to discuss one of the important topics today, 0-30. It's a program by FEVR, and Katarzyna will discuss, will present this program, and here we want to, after that, discuss with our other speakers in panel discussion how can we adopt this program, what's the benefits, what's the challenges, how can we solve it together, and so on. So, and actually, before we start, just shortly, during 5 minutes, Alena, my colleague from THOR, just present one of the relevant topic. It's a acoustic vehicle alert system by THOR. It's THOR of us. Alena, feel free to start.
I think you will better do this because
yeah, sorry, yeah, I forgot. So we changed it because we like, okay, I will start just short. Okay, so THOR of us shortly is an acoustic ecology system for electric vehicles. We started December last year as a spin-off of a THOR classic solution, which sold $1 million all over the world. And today we met the problem with the active mass adoption of electric vehicles, especially in Europe, double increase just for the previous years. And right now it's so popular, but the problem is that with the silence of electric vehicles, most of the cars and micro electromobility need some requirements of UN regulation. And here, like AXA reports that 40% more higher accident rate with electric vehicles versus classic vehicles because of the noiseless of electric vehicles, because of the noiseless of acceleration of electric vehicles. And we discussed with the European Blind Union and another UN organization working groups about that. This is a real problem and it's a future problem. Because current regulation was adopted and initiated in 2014, 7 years ago, and the current electric vehicles are very different than 7 years ago. And that's why we are here. And THOR consists of IoT solutions. So it's a electronic model and external speaker. And the third part is our algorithms and sound laboratory, which produce very special, unique safety sounds. So THOR of us is not only safe and not only in compliance with AWAS regulation, but also it's a branded and manageable system. We can produce unique sound for each city, for each car manufacturer, and so on. Today we have some cases with some organizations and companies. So we have first market adoption with the shared mobility service in Cyprus, in Russia, in Paris. We are making some tests with the European Blind Union and Street Lab, and wants to make electric vehicles more safer especially for blind people. We also introduced our solution for one of the largest truck producer and electric vehicle producer from Eastern Europe. Is called KAMAZ. So they already installed our solution, and we want to make more efforts in European markets to make it more popular, especially of owners of electric vehicles. So today we're going to discuss another topic which is correlated with the electric vehicles and with the safety of on the roads. And I will, so Catherine, feel free to start. Okay. I hope you can share your screen right now. And just regarding timing, we have, just a second, we have 15 minutes, like plus minus 5 minutes for your presentation. After that, we have 30 minutes to discuss with the other speakers.
Okay, so I will try to Sure. Let me. Okay. Just please, if you could confirm that you see my screen. Is it okay?
Yeah, is it okay?
Great. Well, first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm here to represent European Federation of Road Traffic Victims, but also I represent non-profit organizations which are dedicated to prevention area and post-crash response. So also psychological help for the victims of road traffic, of road crashes, and also a council of Małopolska from Poland. So today we are supposed to talk about speed limitation, about speed limits, about Vision Zero. And it's all about, I wrote here, it's all about zero. It's not all about zero, it's also all about 30 in this case. So I would like to present you some ideas which refer to 30 kilometers per hour limitation, which is zero also by 30 campaign. It means zero deaths and zero serious injuries in cities by 2030. And the idea also is zero in total, obviously, not only in cities by 2050. It happens also that this year, European Federation of Traffic Victims is also celebrating 30 years anniversary. So a lot of things, campaigns has been done, but a lot or much more still to achieve. So this is why we are here. And the 30, the speed limits are not, it's not the idea only of European Federation. I think everything is very aligned with the Decade of Action of European, of UN, United Nations, where it is strictly, let me only one thing to change, okay, where the limits are endorsed and has been endorsed, 30 kilometers per hour, whether pedestrians, cyclists, obviously, and vulnerable road users mixed with motor vehicles. We, as a FEVR, we also signed a very important manifesto between all our members. We have now 17 associations, sorry, that belong, if I can say like this, which are members of federation of different countries, European countries, that spread our message and our mission. And this 30 kilometers was also main topic, one of the main topics of the Stockholm ministerial conference that I was also attending last year. So everything is aligned. I mean, the United Nations indications, our indications, Stockholm declarations, other entities, obviously we speak about here, European Union. So I think that everyone is already sure that the 30 in the cities where we mix with pedestrians and road vehicles must be there. So the question is not if, the question now is where and when. So we shouldn't today speak about the necessity of this limitation. I think there is no other organization so sure to stop speeding as Federation of Traffic Victims, because we as victims know very well what the speeding means. So everyone seems already convinced that it should be implemented. Obviously, it was also the main topic of UN Global Road Safety Week this year in May. Also of European Commission. We are today, in fact, tomorrow finishing the European Mobility Week. And this is also one of the main topics of Mobility Week. What we have been doing for the last years was building the community of Love 30 approach. I think we did it very well as a European Federation, but as I said before, we are now, we should now focus on what we have in the future and how we should attract more companies, but from both public and the private sector, because this is undoubtable that we have to cooperate. I mean, it can't be that cities only introduce something because it will not be effective. So we have to, I'm sure we have to build or strengthen a very important cooperation coalition for 30 kilometers per hour, private sector, public sector, non-profit organizations, SINDOUT, and not transform, but to pass all our message, how, and also good advices, how to introduce it in each city. So I think that we are now in the process of not if, but how and when. I wouldn't like to pass now to stress the information of what happens if we are speeding, because I think it's clear. One thing I have to say as our organization, we always have to focus on data, on reliable data. So I think that there are enough data of the scientists, of people who are specialists that measure the influence of the speed on the safety. We have enough very good data on this, and obviously we have to now focus that 30-kilometer streets are safe and healthy, are green, and are livable. So 3 points from our part when it comes to building Love 30 community from now. Decarbonization of the cities. So we have to be green. This was also showed in the Stockholm Declaration. Give smart access to mobility, and Vision Zero, which is our mission. We, as Federation, live Vision Zero. We don't treat it like a campaign, 1 or 2 months campaign that we want to show. We really live it, and we want others to live the vision because it's approach. So now we need unite people, as I told you, from all of the sectors, for walkable, safer, and climate-friendly streets. Obviously, taking always in mind the weak, the persons that are vital. I mean, children, also other persons that are not able to move as they can. So elder also people. I would like to stress that the COVID-19 is I think it's opportunity. We can, it's not opportunity, we can turn it into opportunity in transport. We have already changed a little bit for 1 year our way of life, and we should use it to continue for better cities, for smarter city, but I think mainly for our health. And this also is very strictly connected with safety. So we see this connection. We we focus on this, and it's also aligned with our approach. Very, very obvious thing, so I will not comment here a lot. The difference between this, the difference in speeding or in kilometers per hour is the difference in fact between life and death. So for us, it is very clear. These are not statistics, and these are our members, our friends, and our persons that belong to FEVR and are friends of FEVR. So Vision Zero, in fact, is not a utopian vision. Maybe it was 30, 40 years ago, when someone appeared with 20 years ago with Vision Zero and said, everyone was saying it's not possible, it's utopian. It's not. Already many cities and places, regions showed that it's possible. We are step by step doing it, and we have very good examples in Europe, as you can see on the slide. So I think that the cities are doing very well. Yesterday, I was attending the conference of the Police Cities and Regions Network for Transport Innovation, and there was a mayor of Lisbon, which I really, really liked the approach. So I see that cities are changing, the approaches are changing, and I see that cities want to open for cooperation with private sector, with non-profit organizations, to make a very, very big coalition, which I think will help in to achieve the Vision Zero. So is it possible? Yes. Is it happening? I think so. We are almost there. So how to achieve it, and what FEVR will do when it comes to 30 kilometers per hour and 0 by 30. We have finished, or we are in a moment of transition. So we had very good campaigns, and I think that these campaigns regarding Vision Zero and 30, this is our character. So we want to something that we live, and I think that we should continue as FEVR. We have built a network, maybe a network, a coalition of FEVR, a community between our members, between our 4 members organization from different European countries, and we are able to communicate with them and to pass our mission. I think that now is also the time to pass to wider public our mission. Also a friends organization, members, community, but also to all users in Europe. So this year we are planning, not this year, next year, if everything, if nothing changes and everything is okay, we are planning to spread more the message, but not only the message. We want to give solutions to help the cities, to help with our advice how to introduce some solutions, because there was a trend that we have a lot of cars, equal cars, and all the cities, we can say, have the same cars and the same vehicles, a type of vehicles. We've got scooters everywhere. We've got bikes, we've got car, buses, and so on. So we can say everything is very similar. Yes and no. I think that we should look global, but look for Europe as a global approach. But also each city should be very, very measured when it comes to road safety and about character of the city and specification of each city. So, all the road safety issues should be tailored for each city, including also the solutions that you were presenting, like the sound, for example, of of the vehicles. If I can comment, I can say that I think that all of the vehicles should have the silent vehicles should have should emit the voice, but it should be very, very unified. I mean, it cannot be different it should not be different in our opinion. In different cities, it should be recognizable and livable for the users. So I think it should be one a type or two, but very recognizable if we travel from town to town or from different countries and visit other countries. So there was also an initiative that was made in FEVR. I mean, the tools that we were using until now, obviously media campaigns, social media campaigns, advocacy, very strong voice of the victims, for justice, for post-crash response. It means what happens after a crash, and also very important, which is the prevention. In fact, I think the prevention should be also wider. So I hope next year it will be also, we will have stronger voice in this area. So this is like almost the end of the presentation. I hope we will discuss. Coming back to the beginning of my presentation is again everything about zero in the city. So there is no, for us as a European Federation of the Victims, no number. There is no number acceptable of the deaths and of victims. It means we can only accept zero as a families. So that's why we live Vision Zero. I think that we are very, very committed to this. Here I also put our former president words, Jean Mersch, who was also present on your meeting, on one of your meetings. So as already nowadays many cities had achieved the Vision Zero during one or even several following years, one can also show that it's really possible and that Vision Zero can become reality everywhere, of course. Supporters are growing worldwide one by one. And I think that everything what we do, we think we should focus that, and we should think that sustainability is very connected to safety, and there is no safety without sustainability. So I think that we are very aware of this. We want to promote greener, smarter, and safer streets and cities, not only cities. And well, we should and we will support all coalitions possible to do it, because I think this is the time, not if, but when and how. So I'm hoping that today maybe you will give us also some solutions how to create more stronger communities and coalitions for road safety. Obviously, we are now during mobility, which is important time today. The same topic, so zero, Vision Zero and 30, and sustainable. So it's about all European organizations, and not only European, WHO, United Nations. We, I think, speak the same voice. The next decade is coming. Next month it will be published. I hope so. We are prepared for this, and obviously, as road victims, we also do not want more victims to remember. We want to live our lives together. So this is our approach. Thank you very much on behalf of our associations, of our members. So I hope it was not too long, and hope we can discuss more.
Thank you very much, Katarzyna. Very interesting and many questions we have. How many cities already joined this program or initiative in Europe? How many cities joined this program?
Okay, so it's not a program. You mean our program 30 kilometers per hour, right?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. This is not only program for cities. This is also program for, in our case, the program for cities is more from police, cities, and region network. We are supporting all this program Connect in ours, and we are campaigning between organizations mainly. Between organizations from different countries, I mean 17 in our case organizations, and giving the voice on and advocacy on European level. So we are not in fact collecting or we are not gathering cities, but we are passing this message through organizations, different type of organization, not only non-profit organizations.
Yeah, great.
But it refers to all the cities, because it doesn't, all the mobility or micro mobility or not micro mobility, it functions very well in small cities and big cities. The thing is how to organize the space, not if something is good for big city or small. So we wouldn't like to approach one city. It's a vision for all of them to pass, and we collaborate with whoever wants to collaborate.
Yeah, great. And I have a question. So if we, for example, in I don't know, in Paris, integrate joins this initiative, and in the city center of Paris, all cars have a speed up to 30 kilometers per hour. It means many traffic jams. It means more carbon issued, carbon produced from cars. So because not 100% of cars are electric vehicles. So does it mean that this is more negative for our environment if we integrate right now?
No, I think it's a myth. I think there are some myths about speed, low speed, and they are possible to be changed, this myth. So first, traffic. Traffic is not about the speed. This is how also United Nations and World Health Organization indicate, or even in the Stockholm, we spoke about it. It's not about speed, it's about organization of the city. So the speed, even with lower speed, the flow is better. So in fact, we should focus on this. The carbon, yes, of course, if there is a traffic jam, we have more carbon, we want to decarbonize, but we have to think what to do in order not to provoke traffic. So I think it's everything about organization of the space. You told me that obviously the argument that there are not so many electrical vehicles. I agree, but you think about today. You think about today and tomorrow. Yesterday, one of the representatives of electrical vehicles said that until 2026, 27, the electrical vehicles will reach a very similar price of the vehicles that we will have now, more or less. So the price will be similar. The more people use it, it will be cheaper, obviously, and more accessible. So I think we cannot, obviously, for some time, it can be different. It can be difficult. And at the beginning, if we don't have very good organization, it can produce more. But we think we have to think globally what will happen in 5, 10, and 20 years within this period. So I think the vehicles, in fact, it's not that we will not have vehicles. I think that this is also the future, to use the electrical vehicles, and they will be, the more accessible they are, the easier it will be for us to fulfill this vision. So I think that this is the response for your question, I hope.
And the second consequence of that, if you have the same speed as a micromobility have, like electric scooter, so it means that you motivate more people to use, for example, micromobility. It means that more micromobility scooters comes to the roads, and maybe more accidents happened with the pedestrians due to like in China, thousands of electric bikes.
I will tell you one thing about scooters that I think. I think that micromobility is good for small and big cities. This is the first thing that I wanted to say. And the second thing, I think that e-scooters are a very good alternative, I think so, for urban mobility, for mobility in cities. But there is a but. A but is that we are very, very lack of awareness. So people treat it like a toy. So if we continue to treat it like a toy, if we don't have the conscious, if we have no education how to use it, if we don't have the infrastructure for this, if we don't have the tools, people will use it without sense and like a toy. So I think here the micro mobility is good, and I think we should use it, and the cities should use it. But we first, before giving everyone scooters and the tools, we have to prepare ourselves and prepare them. So infrastructure first, and a lot of awareness campaigns, because if not, it happens what happens. So the crashes happens not because they happen by accident. The crashes happen because we are not prepared. This is, I think, the most important thing. So that's why I always avoid, and we avoid in FEVR, we never say the word accident, because it's not a proper word. Everything happens because of something. It's not by accident. So crashes happen because we are not prepared. We don't have the infrastructure. But
Catherine, we have a representative from micromobility market. Oh. It's Alix. It's a co-founder and head of sustainability at Super 73 from Netherlands. Alix, are you here?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Alix. Very nice to meet you here. So if you have a chance to listen it, could you comment, what do you think about 0 by 30 initiatives, and what's the effect to your business, to micromobility, and to what you produce, electric bikes?
Yeah, well, you kind of got me on the spot here, but yeah, I was actually thinking about the speed limits. Obviously, for electric bikes, we're confronted with the 25 km/h speed limit. And of course, that's always been a debate. There's lots of companies that try to go faster. You may have heard of, Germany, that's looking into the bicycle, the smart e-bike apps, because they're just trying to figure out that you can actually go faster through the app. I mean, people will always want to go faster if they can, but we're still trying to make sure that it's done safely if they do. So, I mean, the 25 km/h speed limit is not necessarily, in our opinion, very well researched. I think this was something that came up in the 1990s, as well as the motor requirements, which are capped at 250 watt hours. However, we always try to, if we cannot stop people from going faster. We try to educate them on safety, and then provide opportunities for them to go faster in closed circuits, whether it's in racing events or with other opportunities.
So like special zones for fast moving.
Exactly. So just making sure that they're aware of why it's important to go safer, to be aware of other riders, whether it's speeding up next to non-electric vehicles or just residential areas, just respecting overall. But even regular bicycles go faster than 25 kilometers an hour, so it's still kind of strange. But I was just thinking, what if bikes were allowed to go up to 30 kilometers an hour, or at least have different settings on the bike, like maybe residential or city limits, something like that, and then off-roading. That would at least maybe empower the users to make the right decisions and feel more comfortable and responsible.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's like in the movie Doomsday, when you provide people opportunity once a year to make anything you want. I mean, the special zones, I think it's a good idea. But you mentioned that the equal rules for car drivers and micromobility drivers should be different. Regulated zones like roads, it should be 0 by 30, and unregulated zones where pedestrians go for a walk, for example. So it should be limited by another speeds.
Again, I also agree with the speaker that the infrastructure and the organization of a city is really, really important. Right now, there's every year there's new innovations, new different types of form factors of mobility. We don't know what could appear next year, if it has 3 wheels, 4 wheels. So right now, legislation just simply cannot keep up with all the innovation. So at least let's try to make the cities safer, and to be open to this innovation, because cities evolve, people's habits evolve. We all saw that commuting with vehicles to work dropped significantly last year because of COVID. So people were moving differently, and they all jumped on a bicycle or an electric bike. So I think cities have to figure out a way to adapt rapidly to this, and then legislation may need to be a little bit more flexible, because right now it's dampening innovation and it's just making people more stressed out and making them feel kind of guilty of trying to enjoy this new form of mobility. So yeah, I think cities definitely need to work closely on understanding new mobility and being more receptive, just making it safer.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Just feel free to comment, anyone who is in the meeting. So we have Ivan, from Arrival. Could you represent yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Ivan from Arrival company. It's a company who produce electric vehicle. My personal, I'm personally developed AVAS model. It's a device which produces sounds for silent vehicle, I have several interests. I have heard Kasia and Alex. It's very interesting presentation. Thank you. I will start from question to Alex about increasing speed for scooters and other micromobility vehicles, and what's it? When we are talking about safety, we should remember also about personal safety, because currently, like Kasia said, the most people think that scooter is like a toy, and without any preparation, just took scooters from sharing company and go at the maximum speed. If we allow people to drive at with speed more than, I don't know, for example, 25 kilometers per hour, we need to think about some ammunition like helmet, maybe some other things. And also, it's just my personal opinion that it shouldn't be allowed people without driver license drive for faster than some amount, for example, 20 kilometers per hour. If you have this driver license, you can drive because you are aware of rules, you are aware of possible injuries, etc. So you at least know how to fix yourself, sprinkle lengths, etc. But if you just like tourist and come in the city, so please drive with low speed. But the which is the speed? I don't know. Should be maybe even 15 kilometers per hour. So it's
yeah, it's interesting idea about that.
I may comment on that if you permit. Yeah, I think the driver's license idea, I just kind of think we should rename it something else. It's not your typical driver's license that we should be requiring. We could start implementing some more training or workshops at schools, at a very young age, and just have different types of licenses or training and just safety training for different types of vehicles.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that it should be for driving any of vehicles. For example, if you're driving in 10 kilometers per hour, I don't know, for example, you can drive without this driver license. So, but how to check it, I don't know. Maybe it should have some chip inside vehicle or something like that.
Yeah, regarding check, Katarzyna, you said that data is a crucial point in your my question was is regarding data sources, which data sources you use and how you plan to track 0 by 30, 30 kilometers per hour limits, or maybe cities need to install additional cameras, but it takes some investments, or you just use current infrastructure, or what other data you need?
When it comes to the data, I think it's not now the thing about the data. We use the data of each country also that has institute responsible for road safety. So we use official data of public transport or ministries or institutes, scientific institutes in each country, obviously, because the thing is that we are a federation of different countries. It's not that we have one data for everyone, because it's not applicable, it's different kind of solutions, as I told you. So we look global, but we need to have detailed data. The detailed data, it means different from Poland, different from France, different because each one of us, each one of the countries is different and has different type of problems in road safety. So the crucial thing is that to analyze the data from different countries and to base on this, obviously, the National Institute, for example, road safety institutes that they exist. So so this is where the data comes, and that the data was been not for now, but for many years. The thing is that how we now, I think, not about data, because we already know that the 30 approach is right. It's right. So the thing is now how to approach people and how to implement the tools in the cities. So there is now, we are on which stage are we? We are on the stage, I think, in Europe, that each one tries to find solutions for cities, not all of the cities. As I told you, for example, in Portugal, a great example of sustainable city is Portugal. There are cities that are doing very well and they work on their own. But what now, I think, in what stage we are in Europe, is that we are now, as for also the meetings that we have and the European Union and nations, United Nations and so on, there is a big necessity of cooperation and coalition, because I think that the cities are much more aware that they will not achieve the goal on their own. I'm sure of that, and I see that more and more cities are aware of this. So I think that they will now need very much private sector. It's not bad to cooperate, really. It's non-profit organization, specialists, scientists. I think that the direction is now that the data has been there, it's there, the will is there, and we are trying. I think that we are now in the stage of focusing, of starting to build coalitions in the cities. There are some cities that are pioneers, but others will follow. There are always some pioneers in each area, and others will follow. So look, yesterday when I was on the meeting of the Police Cities and Region Network, we were speaking also about aviation above the cities, okay? Someone may say, okay, but what are we speaking about? About the sky and what is happening? Why not? Why not about thinking about also these solutions? This is everything transport, this is everything network, everything is connected. Obviously, it will happen not tomorrow, but I think that more long-term vision is present in the cities. So this is where we should act. I mean, we as public, private, and all the interest parties in this.
Okay, great. Oliver, do you have some comments? Oliver represents FEVR organization. It's International Automobile Federation. Oliver, are you here? Okay, let's. Yeah.
I have some questions.
Just a second. Just a second, Oliver.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah, could you shortly present yourself, and do you have any comments to Kasia or Alix or Ivan?
Yeah, no, let's say I was very interesting to hear what you are doing with regard to speed management and in terms to 30 kilometers per hour, and also referring to the UN campaign. As you know, the FIA, Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, is supporting the UN campaign. So we did that a few weeks ago in spring. And basically also to link that to let's say to all our advocacy efforts, not only in Europe but also on other continents, and let's say to include the 30 kilometer per hour advocacy efforts into our lobbying towards national governments. So we are a federation of motoring clubs, and they are involved at national level in, let's say, transport policy making, and therefore, let's say the trend towards the 30 kilometer per hour that we have been seeing in the last 2 years, also related with the COVID-19 crisis, has been interesting to to follow. Also to see, let's say, how traffic has slowed down, how a number of cities have enlarged the 30 kilometer per hour zones, generalizing this. So myself, I live in Brussels, so our office is based in Brussels, and we have here a generalized 30 kilometer per hour policy. And I have already seen some presentation of the results of this, which goes very much in the same direction as you have been, let's say, experiencing or reporting yourself. So it's very interesting to hear, let's say, how the different efforts go into the same direction. You also mentioned micromobility. There's also a clear link to that. We just launched last week a campaign on micromobility, saying that, so the motto of the campaign is mobility has evolved. So the E of electric, but it very much focuses on micromobility and electric micromobility. So we see this trend, and let's say, as it has also been said earlier, it's very important to accompany this trend to make sure that, let's say, it's safe as well.
Yeah, thank you, Oliver. We promised that we can discuss maybe some challenges, Keisha, you have, and maybe we can help you to solve such challenges with your initiative. So, yeah, could you share if you have?
Well, in fact, our campaign has been there for 3 or 4 years. And we are now in the moment to check what to do it better and wider. So it's not it's only to continue, but it's only to also to think what to do better. So in fact, we are in a moment of the creation of a new, not new, but of some changes that should be done for the next years in order to achieve the goal. Because if we continue, I'm not only speaking about FEVR, but other prevention actions and campaigns in Europe. So I think that we should strengthen our efforts, because we are not in the mode that we will achieve the goal that we want. I mean, 0 by 30 and 0 by 50. So I think now we are saying check. We have to check what we should do, on what we should focus more. And I'm sure that this is the moment of creation of more of the coalition, as I told you. This is the crucial thing. The cities and regions are opening now, so I think that we should use this opportunity to work and to create smarter coalitions and stronger coalitions, and with not only a voice but exactly solutions. So we are open for any discussion. We are now in time to create our future campaigns. We are sure we want to continue, but we want to, as I said, one of our main goals in prevention area is to strengthen coalitions and to propose solutions where it's needed. So when I speak about coalition, I mean the wide coalition between public, also private sector and other organizations that don't have to be only our members. I think that we represent the victims. We are the voice of the victims, but the goal is one and the same in the prevention area, 0 victims. So So we are now trying to build awareness campaigns, awareness campaign on a global scale. Probably we will start with Europe because this is where we normally act. But you never know. I think that we have to think high, think big, and think about not only tomorrow, but what will happen in Europe, in cities, in regions in 5, 10, 20 years. So this is the approach that we are now building for the campaign, and I hope we will be in contact, all of us, that we are here to cooperate in the future.
Yeah, I think everyone here will join your coalition to strengthen coalition, like Arrival, Super 73, and our company THOR. I think we can join and can help you with, as you say, voice of 0 by 30, and yeah.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, great. Maybe should we present? Should you present your results with the FEVR on the climate conference in Glasgow, and because it's connected in terms of climate policy, I think. Thank you. Oliver shared some useful information. Okay, great. We have 2 minutes left. So if you have any questions or any comments, we can distribute this video. We can distribute LinkedIn of everyone here to allow you to connect to each other. And we will keep you updated with our next sessions. And I hope you all of you join Acacia Initiative 0 by 30.
And thank you very much. And it was also from my part, just wanted to say it was very nice to all to meet you. And I think that our mission and we always try to spread our mission and our goal, 0 victims. And I think that we should always have it in mind.
Yeah. This is our general goal for everyone. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your time, Oliver, Alex, Ivan, Keisha, Alena.
Yes, thank you very much. Very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. We share your presentation, Keisha, if you don't mind, with all of the speakers. Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Great. Have a good day. Bye.